Patent and other prizes. The economic argument for patents asserts that giving the developer of a new, useful, and non obvious invention or innovation an exclusive right encourages investment in and dissemination of new methods, machines, and practices. But there's always been skepticism about the necessity of the patent system. Critics have long argued that the shortcomings of that system, particularly the high prices and restricted output of monopoly, were not worth the alleged benefits. Superscript 13, which reads: see, for example, Michael Boldrin and David Levine, The Case Against Intellectual Property, 92 am.econ.rev.209, open parentheses, 2002, close parentheses. See also the authors against intellectual property, 2008. Returning to the text. Indeed, because of their deep concerns about the ill effects of the IP system, several European countries, including Sweden and the Netherlands, suspended their intellectual property system for several decades in the mid and late 19th century. But if there is no patent system, how can society encourage investment in invention and dissemination? One possible method is through the award of prizes. These can be monetary rewards for designated accomplishments or for general innovations, and they can be offered by either public or private parties or both simultaneously. Perhaps the best example of a public reward designed to induce a particular invention is the English government's search for an accurate method of measuring longitude. Superscript 14, which reads: see Deva Sobel, longitude, open parentheses, 1997, close parentheses, back to the text. Using sightings of the sun, ships could relatively easily measure latitude, their distance north or south of the equator. But with regard to longitude, they were, well, at sea. The results of not knowing where one could be, and sometimes were, disastrous. In response to a famous ship disaster, the English Parliament decided to do something. In 1714, they offered a reward of £20,000 to the first person who could accurately measure longitude at sea. To evaluate the submissions, Parliament appointed a board of longitude with Sir Isaac Newton as its prime commissioner, and they required a testing voyage to the West Indies with criteria for success. A carpenter and a clockmaker in Yorkshire, John Harrison, thought that the key to measuring longitude was an extremely accurate clock. Most of the other inventors who pursued the prize thought the key lay in accurate sightings of celestial objects. Harrison's insight was that the Earth turned through 360 degrees, a complete rotation, in the course of 24 hours. As a result, the Earth turns through 15 degrees each hour of each day. The traveler who departed from London to Moscow could set his watch for London time and compare it to the time when he reached Moscow. He would find that his watch said 9 a.m. when it was noon in Moscow, which would enable him to deduce that Moscow is east of London by 45 degrees of longitude. If it were possible to measure the time difference between a ship at sea and a fixed point on Earth's surface, such as London, then one could tell how far around the Earth one had gone. For this method of measurement to work would require having an extremely accurate clock. And that was the task that Harrison set himself. In the 18th century, ship's clocks were inaccurate because the motion of the ship disrupted the clock's mechanism. In 1759, Harrison finally developed an extremely accurate ship's clock, which he called H4. In 1764, the Board of Longitude ordered H4 to be tested on a ship traveling from Portsmouth to Barbados, and Harrison's son, William, went to Barbados to oversee the test. The clock performed marvelously, but rivals blocked Harrison from receiving the prize until his son made a dramatic and successful appeal to King George III. Harrison finally received his reward 43 years after he had begun his quest. England was not put off by this experience. Parliament later offered a reward for the first successful vaccine against smallpox. There are many, indeed, an increasing number of private prizes designed to elicit a particular inventive activity. The Ansari X Prize, created in 1996, famously offered $10 million to the first private team that could finance, build, and launch a spaceship capable of carrying 3 people to a height of 100 kilometers or 62.5 miles above the Earth, return safely to Earth, and then repeat the trip with the same ship within 2 weeks. A group headed by Burt Rutan and Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft, won the prize in October 2005. Recently, the Progressive Insurance Company announced a $5 million prize for the first team or individual to develop a car with an internal combustion engine capable of getting 100 miles per gallon of gasoline. Some have suggested that the successes of rewards for particular achievements can be extended to general inventions. Steve Chevelle and Tanguy van Ypperselay have argued that a system of general governmental rewards for the developing of new, useful, and non-obvious inventions is superior to the current system of awarding patent rights. Superscript 15, which reads, see Stephen Chevelle and Tanguy van Ypperselay reward Venus Intellectual Property Rights, 44J. Law and Econ, 525, open parentheses, 2001, close parentheses. See also Michael Abramowitz, Perfecting Patent Prizes, 56, Van and L. Rev. 115, 2003. Returning to the text. Are the social costs and benefits of a reward system clearly superior to those of the current patent system? Could one argue that public and private rewards for inventive activity complement the patent system so that the two systems should operate together?